whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Welcome to Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Nikisha, and this is Talking Horror with Jamie
And Nikisha.
where we share our love for all things scary and talk horror through the lens of human behavior. Welcome, everyone. Yes, and I'm wearing my Spice Girls Girl Power shirt because today we're talking about the 2026 comedy horror film Forbidden Fruits.
What's your name?
Pumpkin. Yeah, I know, it's really pumpkin.
We're all fruits here at Eden.
What are you up to tonight?
Well, I was gonna go home and make a chocolate cake with my mom.
But like, what do you want to be up to tonight?
So I felt Spice Girls
girl
was
power.
appropriate.
Yeah.
You gotta spice up your life.
Power. You gotta spice up the fruits.
Oh yeah.
Spice
Spicy
up the
fruits.
Yes.
Spice up the fruits. People
Pumpkin
around,
spice.
Spice up the fruits.
Exactly. Now they all got a spice. You got to add the pumpkin spice in there. I love it. So this movie was directed by Meredith Alloway from a play she co-wrote with Lily Houghton and is based on Houghton's 2019 stage play called Of the Woman Came the Beginning of Sin, and Through Her We All Die. What a title for a play. I want to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, but this movie stars Lily Reinhardt, Lola Tung, Victoria Petretti, Alexandra Shipp, Emma Chamberlain, and surprise, surprise, if you stayed for the end credits, Gabrielle Union.
Oh yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
So heavy spoilers if you have not seen Forbidden Fruits. It is now out. You can rent it on the streaming platforms. And Jamie, please hit us with those trigger warnings.
Sure thing. Maybe some references to witchcraft. Ooh.
Whoa.
It's a coven? Yes.
They're doing rituals. Ooh.
Ooh. Love
There's a lot of tension between women that I think, can feel weird. There's references to sexual intercourse.
Heard of it.
There's some blood.
Lots of
I think
blood.
the blood also gets consumed or drank.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No.
Putting hexes on people. Like references to being institutionalized.
Right.
Death by suicide. Like references to murder. Yeah. Death by escalator. Truly a nightmare situation for me.
Yes, nightmare fuel for sure.
I'm trying to think of what else.
Bisection.
Yep.
First, I swear to God, I thought you were going to say bisexuality. I was like,
Happy Pride?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was about to say, excuse me, it's June. It's Pride. Why is that a trigger warning?
Yes. Oh my God.
Strangulation.
Yes. I don't know if there's
Fruits.
if you
Again,
don't like
it's
fruits. Yeah. Great, Jamie. Yes.
Did I miss anything?
Spy cams. Is that maybe?
Yeah. Being spied on. Yeah. But I feel like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that's
There's
good.
just a lot of blood at the end that I was not expecting.
Yeah.
But here for.
This is definitely
Great.
backloaded with blood.
Yes, absolutely.
Back blood loaded.
Yes. So before we get into the nitty gritty of Forbidden Fruits, producer Brian is going to give us a couple of words.
Hey everybody. Hi, YouTube. Hello, everyone listening. I am producer Brian, and I've got a couple things to say. Honestly, just follow us on social media at Talk Horror Pod. We are so close to 20K. I know I've been asking this for a long time on TikTok. If you haven't followed us on TikTok, the fuck are you doing? Download TikTok and follow us at Talk Horror Pod. We're also on Instagram. We do some fun stuff there. We've been really growing a lot on those two platforms, so I would definitely and highly suggest you follow us. We do a lot more than just talk about horror movies. Just kidding. That's all we do. We talk about horror movies.
That's why you're here.
That's what we're here. We're talking horror.
hope.
Yeah, follow us on at Talk Horror Pod. That would be really awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Amazing. Okay. So we have to talk about what we watched because I told y'all I'd watch it and I did. I watched Thrash and I have to tell y'all how I felt. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's so good. And I forgot that movie was coming out. I've definitely seen trailers for it before. Because the whole, spoiler, but the whole, well, no, because this was in the trailer. The whole line about, 1 second, mommy's got to punch a shark. What is happening here?
Well,
but
yeah, keep going. No, I want to hear more about what you thought.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where you were like, if you just want a fun shark attack movie, this is for you. And I think that's what it is. And I wouldn't even say it's fold laundry watch, right? I was paying attention. I was into it the whole time from start to finish. So I found it very entertaining. I thought the kills were fun. I thought the premise was fun. And if you like shark attack movies, I think it's a nice one to add to the list.
And that last act where, spoiler alerts for Thrash, I'm just going to say it right here because we have to talk about it. Spoiler alerts for Thrash. It's on Netflix.
Oh, should I take off my headphones?
Oh, if you don't want to hear about Thrash.
You can talk to me about Thrash. That's okay.
When she gives birth in the water and then the blood brings the sharks to her is the most buck fucking wild thing I have seen in a shark attack movie in a long time. And that she's got to cut the umbilical cord and then save her newborn baby from the shark by punching a shark. What are we doing here? That was crazy. That was crazy. Truly couldn't look away because I'm like, this whole movie has been kind of exactly what I expected. And then this happened and I was like, this is a top 10 animal attack movie crazy part. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When
but
people
it's also brilliant.
Talk about it. Right. It is brilliant. And when people talk about this movie, they're going to be talking about that specific scene. And then on top of that, the dynamite with the with the sharks when the kids because I just love in the third act that whole tone shift as well. It just feels like we're going to lean so heavy into all of the camp and absurdity, and you're either going to stay on the ride or get off. And I feel like it keeps you captivated in that way throughout it.
Definitely.
So I loved it.
Why doesn't Djimon Hounsou work more?
Real talk.
He is an incredible actor.
Yes.
I feel like he had so much momentum in the early 2000s when he was in Gladiator, and then he was in that awesome movie about the Irish family who moved to New York to try to be an actor. I don't remember what it was called. He played their neighbor. Then he was and then he kind of just it pops. It was in Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio, and then he just kind of gets these weird bit parts, in the what's it called? The Quiet Place movies. He's in Quiet Place 2, dies immediately. And then he's in the Quiet Place day 1 because to tease Quiet
before,
the second one. I don't know. He needs to that's just me saying he needs to work more because he's just an outstanding actor. And maybe he does things, I don't know, whatever.
Maybe he chooses what he wants,
Maybe,
he's
I don't know. But
I want to do this.
He's been in other action movies that I can't name off the top of my head, but still.
Yeah.
The way that you were saying that sounded like you were going to be like, maybe he does things a little bit differently here.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he does things
I love that. But, who knows? But I agree. And his character, it's so small in Thrash as well. He's comes in
Yeah.
kind of just at the end of everything. But
I hope he got paid a lot to be in those random scenes, like on the phone with his daughter. You know what I mean?
right, exactly, yes, and just being
Yeah.
on the boat, the CGI boat.
Totally.
Yeah, no, it was great. So highly recommend. It was a good sit down watch. Anything y'all have watched?
Yeah, we rewatched Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Holds up. It's
Oh,
still
yeah.
really fucking funny.
It's so
Yeah.
fun.
Nice.
Yeah. I just feel like comedies, and maybe this is a general statement, but that comedies that aren't funny because of one-liners, but are funny because of situations and context, are so much more, last so much longer, because
Yes.
it relies on character and how that character will react in a situation, as opposed to like punchline.
Yeah, like little bits.
Yeah, so and also it's way funnier. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's definitely way funnier now that I've seen so many more horror movies and having our conversations here about the stupid things people do in horror movies, especially in like we've talked a lot about like woods cabin movies, like Cabin Fever, Evil Dead, The Ritual. There's like a million, and I'm not gonna name all of them because there are a million.
Name them all.
Name them all. Yeah, it was great. That was fun. We also rewatched one of the great films of our time, starring one of our great national treasures of a superstar. Her name is Sky Riley. And Smile 2.
Sky.
Oh, did we talk about this?
Absolutely.
We went to karaoke for my birthday.
Oh.
And they use YouTube for their karaoke machine. So Jamie and I sang
The Brain.
Brain Dead.
New Brain. Yeah.
New Brain. For karaoke, and it was fucking awesome.
Let's go. Did anyone know what y'all were?
No one had
singing?
no fucking idea. Yeah. Nobody had. And I didn't even say like from the movie Smile. I literally wrote down on the piece of paper,
Sky Riley.
Sky Riley. Yeah, I didn't even see that. 100%.
I love that.
But then I watched this movie on Crack TV, or not Crack TV. I forget what the
Crack TV
Crack TV. Blood and Rust. It's like this 80s throwback vampire horror movie. It has great character design and some really cool effects. I think people will really like it if you love that 80s movie. It hit or miss for me, but like it's got that like corny dialogue and that synth score, and like it's like slowly edited, like there's a lot of space in between lines of people, like, and that feels like an 80s movie. So in that regard, definitely worth it for some people. And then I watched Slanted.
Oh, how was it?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh,
I watched it last night. Slanted is an incredible concept with really good performances. That is exactly what you think it is. It does not make any interesting choices outside of the concept. For those of you who don't know, Slanted is about an Asian woman who she finds this like special surgery place that can turn you white. And so she opts to do it, and then like how her life has changed in that way. There's a little bit of body horror in it. It's not a ton of body horror, to be completely honest. It's more of like a sci-fi thriller, and some sci-fi just because of like the surgery, like how they do it aspect of that. But like, I don't know. I just wanted more from it. It just, I could have told you exactly what was going to happen in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't do anything of interest. Like, you could have just told me that, like, and then she learns that her culture is what makes her unique. I could have told you that from the beginning. Make the story interesting. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I felt about that. It's weird. This movie is two different things. Half of the movie is like campy, like mean over the top Mean Girls High School. And then the other half of it is like a very grounded story of like an Asian family, and a daughter who is going to an Asian daughter who is growing up in a very white dominated society. And so, how she's influenced by that. So one side is like super grounded in reality. And then the other side of it is like high camp in some ways. And I didn't think that didn't work. I think if the movie was more interesting in its choices, that would have worked even better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was unfortunate, but like, I don't think it wasn't a bad movie. It just like could have done way more with its premise.
Yeah, just very predictable. What you
Super
expected.
predictable. We guessed we guessed everything that was going to happen, and like not honestly. Sometimes we guessed things that we made the movie more interesting. Like we like thought ahead. My friend and I like were like, oh, what if this happened during the movie? But it's like no, they just like went with the normal beats of like you transform into something, you enjoy it, things go wrong, you regret it, you want to turn back. You have to, like it, same shit. Also, pet peeve about that movie, the timeline of like prom and shit like that makes no fucking sense. Like, like proms aren't in February, right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, was prom like in the middle of the year?
Yeah, it was in February. It should have been anyway. Long story short. Also, this school has a hallway where they have banners of everyone who's won prom king and prom queen. That's not real.
That is not realistic.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which is fine. Like let that movie be that way, but like lean into I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was a little bit of a mess. No, not a mess. I think I wanted it to be messier. I wanted it to have like flaws that aren't just like kind of boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
for sure.
Slanted.
Quick things, because you talking about that remind me of some other things. I rewatched Send Help, and that absolutely is still one of my top movies of the year.
Yeah.
It still holds up in all of the ways. Now that Tales from the Crypt is on Shudder, I have been watching that, and I did not realize. I mean, I should have known. It's so over the top soap opera corny in how they present all of their stories. But this is coming from the late 80s into the early 90s.
Sure.
All the acting is so over dramatic.
Have you run into famous actors like in it yet?
Demi Moore is the first one.
Oh, cool.
Yes. But I know I'm only still on I'm on season 2. And there's 7 or 8 seasons of this. So there's some more coming in. But Demi Moore, the first one, I was I'm like, and her episode was really good. But
cool. I used to watch the animated Crypt Keeper.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. No, it was good. And then last thing, only because this is horror related, I saw the musical Titanic, but it's starring our girl Melissa Barrera.
Oh yeah,
And they made a Scream joke, of course, in the show, and it was excellent. But she, first off, didn't realize how great of a singer she is.
She sings in Your Monster.
Yeah, but those things can be so overproduced when you're recording.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Fair, totally fair.
Yeah, so for her singing live Celine Dion songs of all things, because the whole score is Celine Dion, impeccable. And of course, we know that she has great comedic timing. So it was, everyone in the entire show, but it was just really fun that they had a nice little Sydney Scream little mix for her that I don't think everyone in the audience got, that I was upset, but I was laughing hysterically.
You're like, I know.
Out
of the loop.
Why are y'all not in the loop? But yes, that's it. Great. Fantastic. Well, let's talk about it. I'm going to give it back over to producer Brian, and we're going to go through the plot of this and talk about our feels.
Yes.
Our feels.
Should we do not likes or gripes?
Trick or a treat. My bad.
Yeah, let's do trick or a treat first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trick or treat.
Keeping me on task. So let's start off with our first segment, Trick or a Treat, where we let you know right off the top, was this a treat? We enjoyed it, or we're kind of neutral about it, or it was kind of mid, as the kids say. And was it a trick? Not our cup of tea. So, Jamie, trick or a treat?
For me, this was a treat.
Great. I'm going to say it was a treat for me. And producer Brian, what about you?
Yeah, it was definitely a treat for me. Just as a little background, I saw this its premiere at South by Southwest, and the audience was just filled. Like it was just like an awesome experience. People really ate it up, and then all the women were on stage, including the writer and the director. And Diablo Cody was there, and a couple of the other producers. So we got to hear them talk about it, and them, answer some questions about it, and they just seemed like friends in real life, very much so. So that was super cool, and I enjoyed it there. And then I watched half of it again with Jamie when she watched it for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah, so I just wanted to
And
shout
then
that
Tip
out.
had to pee.
And oh my god! And then our dog.
We'll talk. Let's wait till we get to it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
He always picks like the least convenient times to have to go pee.
Oh, poor little Teddy.
No, poor us.
Okay, sorry.
More important,
great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited that we all thought it was a treat, and let's talk about it. So, producer Brian, let's get into it.
Okay, let's talk through Forbidden Fruits. All right, so this is about Apple, Fig, and Cherry, who are salespeople at a mall in Dallas, Texas. They work for a company called Free Eden, which is a great name, especially if you're trying to, maybe allude to another
company.
All right. So, and they scam customers into spending way more than they should at that store. So we get the sense that they are a tight knit group. They all have fruit names, and then they're approached by the new girl who's a pretzel salesman. And she works at the pretzel counter in the food court, and she kind of offers them pretzels to try, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And however, they are really interested in her when they find out that her name is a pumpkin.
Cute.
I think this movie has really good setup in general. I feel like this movie opens with Apple kind of going into work and like us seeing that she kind of like lives in her car early on, which I found like an interesting choice because I feel like that is something that we would learn halfway through as an audience member. Whereas like we're kind of given like just with those images, we're given a little bit of backstory on Apple. When usually movies just present them as they are seen by their coworkers, and then we learn bit by bit about them. I also thought that was a really interesting choice.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off that too, because I'm trying to think of other movies where maybe the main mean girl, popular girl was in a situation that was, not living in the luxurious house with all of getting all the things she wants. And so I thought that it was very interesting that right off the bat, this person who we're supposed to follow, who is the HB, the head bitch in charge, is living out of her car. And I just want to point out, thank you. And I just want to point out to the song choices. I know we'll talk about the soundtrack throughout, but right off of the top, this first song is by a group called Hot and Freddie. And it is it was an incredible choice to use this because it's a group that is of the now, but their music sounds very much synth 80s. And the whole world of Forbidden Fruits feels kind of like you're in limbo of what time period are we really in, small town in Texas, which I know was purposeful, and
of course.
So I thought that was a nice addition with the soundtrack, also kind of feeling that way. It's of the now, but still kind of in that it could be from, or it's drawing from other time periods and decades.
Yeah. Cool. So they invite Pumpkin kind of into their inner circle. She has a super awkward interview with them. And then Fig, Apple, and Cherry reveal themselves to be a coven of witches. They do witchery in the store after hours. Boys are not allowed in. No boys allowed. And they confess all their sins to the spirit of Marilyn Monroe, which is very funny.
Love.
So they feed Pumpkin like a concoction of like fruit juice and blood, and they abandon her in the store as kind of like a hazing ritual type thing. And then in the morning, Pumpkin, they find her in there. She is stylishly dressed and more confident, I guess you could say. And so Apple gives her a charm bracelet like the one that all the other girls have. And then somebody, I think this is what happened, like somebody shows up, like a very like weird person shows up outside the store, and then Cherry and Fig are like very upset by this. And then Apple kind of like pushes Pumpkin out of sight so that she can't see what's happening there. And we'll get to that later on, what that meant. And then Pumpkin gives Apple a doll named Marilyn as a part of their rituals and things like that. But unbeknownst to the coven, the doll has a camera inside of that.
Yes.
The camera's inside the doll. So a lot happens in there. And I think what's interesting about it is that I think what's interesting is like this movie up until this point is like we start with Apple as our main character, and then Pumpkin kind of moves into main character, maybe not. Although the movie also shows, it's weird. The movie shows that she's spying on them.
Yeah.
But also like it's confusing as to what we're trying to make of that. Like, are we trying to figure something out? Like, what I should say is the movie presents these facts, but there's no mystery of it yet.
It just kind of drops you in.
Yeah, totally. So this movie at this point is conflicting. And is this a hangout movie with like no real plot? Right. Or is this like a mystery movie? Like, because it doesn't present itself as either. And I think that it is both. And I think when we get to like how we feel overall about this movie, one of my like gripes in general is that this movie's doing too much. This movie is trying to say 10 different things, and it just feels like it's all over the place. But that's what makes cult classics, in my opinion. Cult classics are movies that are doing a lot of fucking things in a weird, like, way. And this movie very much feels like it's doing a lot. And I would say that that's because most writers, their first thing that they write has everything in it, because they have just like built up this reservoir of ideas and they put all of it into that thing. And then as they start to write more and more, you see their ideas kind of get like more streamlined and way more, way tighter thematically. This movie just trying to say 1,000 things about, the original sin, and about female friendships, and about, and it's being a lot of movies at the same time. This is not me saying these are bad things. These are just observations about this movie.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that about all of the facts of it, and then where's the mystery. I kind of feel just ever so slightly opposite, because I watched this movie twice, and the where we are up into the movie right now with the plot, for me felt like I feel like I should know more than I do now. So I'm like wondering what is happening. So the mystery at the beginning was there for me because I guess I was wanting more information. And it might speak to what you're talking about, Brian, of, is this a hangout movie? Like, is it, we're going to follow each girl and see what their journey is and then how they all come together. So maybe it's just more of that. But at the beginning, we do get the one kind of clue of what Pumpkin is doing when she calls her mom, right? And she's like, yeah, I met her. I'm going to find out, like, through the other two what's going on with this whole thing. And then we get, the Marilyn doll and all those things. But at first, I was just kind of thinking to myself, where is this movie going to go? Like, what is going on behind all of these people? And I just want to point out too, the cast of women. I felt like this was a pretty good kind of diverse as far as personalities.
Yeah.
Even though you could equate this to Mean Girls, right? Like Victoria Petretti is definitely like a Karen, and all those things. And
this is Mean Girl meets The Craft meets Heather's meets
right,
Jennifer's
all the
Body
things.
meets totally.
And I think that's also where I agree with you, Brian, on trying to do so much, because I was reading an interview with the director who was talking about her collaborating with the author of the play and how there was a lot that was different from the play, but I think it's just because the director was wanting to add so much into it to where it's not a mirror, I guess. It's not like the play is being put up into a movie. I think the only similar things are that the girls are in a mall and the girls are fruit names, but in the play they're flowers. And the director was saying the only thing that happens that's bad in the play is that a girl steals a pair of pink thongs. But then you have this horror movie, aspect of it to where all these other things are happening. So it just all to add to your point, Brian, I think that's why it feels like there's so much going on, because she did deviate a lot from the play.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because this movie's trying to do a lot.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. This movie's trying to say a lot.
Yes.
So we get like a time moves on montage sort of thing. And Pumpkin learns more about each girl, essentially. Like, it's not a montage per se, but it's like, it's an extended, like, she just learns different things about each of the fruits. Apple is always getting in trouble with their mysterious manager, Sharon. Pumpkin learns that Apple is living in her car and that she allegedly poisoned her abusive father. Cherry is now sober, and Apple kind of like micromanages her life. And Fig is trying to get into graduate school and is seeing a guy named Norman. And that's being kept a secret. And then Pumpkin, going back to Cherry, Pumpkin and Cherry Pumpkin's been bonding with each of them in their own different way. So like the Pumpkin catches Cherry having a sexual fling, if you will, with the male mall employees. When she's lying to Apple about where she is. Pumpkin catches Fig with Norman, telling each other they love each other. And then Fig begs Pumpkin to not tell Apple, because Apple kicked another girl named Pickle out, who was Pumpkin's predecessor. Talking this movie out is fucking crazy using words.
Yes.
I feel like we're talking about dogs. Like, listen, so then Pickle gets into the, like...
Because Pumpkin is a great name for a dog.
Yes. So Pickle was part of their coven. Then she fell in love with a guy named Ashton. And then Apple tricked the rest of the coven into putting a hex on her. And then that resulted in Ashton falling into a coma and then Pickle being institutionalized. And then Pumpkin spots and approaches Pickle. And Pickle was the girl who was in front of the store. The store at the beginning. She basically tells her that Apple is super dangerous. And then Apple starts to get really paranoid because Pumpkin's having private conversations with Sharon. And then Apple really thinks that somebody is like spying on them, or somebody is like, there's a mole potentially. So
a snake in their garden.
A snake in their garden, if you will.
What they were saying. Yes.
Trying to ruin their original sin or create it. Poison them. And they're trying to hex the person who is getting into their shit. And then we find out that we see Pickle dies by jumping off of the second story balcony at the mall. And Pumpkin and Fig see it happen. And then all the women. I'll stop there. I'll stop there.
Yeah. I do want to bring up, because you're talking about montages, and one of the funniest montages to me was the male mall workers montage with Cherry when Pumpkin is spying on her, because it also, again with the soundtrack, was the Whisper Song by Yin Yang Twins, and I'm like, God, yeah, absolutely.
Needle drop moment.
Like,
So good.
It was so good. Also, just to say out loud, Victoria is my new absolute crush. My God, she is a beautiful woman. Now, I wish that they didn't put her in that horrible blonde wig, but
oh yeah,
other than that,
not
she
my
is.
favorite.
It's not my favorite, but she is.
Hello, Mama. Can I whisper in your ear?
It's so good. But Brian, you were talking about just like someone, they were putting the hexes on because someone is infiltrating like what they called the paradise. Their coven is paradise.
Yeah.
And you were talking about like there were rules in the coven, and I think one of the rules was like the shining, or the shine, and it's like don't dim another person's light. So all that to say, Jamie, I want to ask you a question. Yes. Because that just reminded me of this buzz phrase going around of like being a girl's girl, right? And it's like, you know, we're helping each other, we're not dimming each other's light, which is kind of the essence of what Paradise, the coven, is. So I just wanted to ask like a general question of why are female friendships so integral for positive development? We know in this movie it kind of goes off kilter, but like why is it important for there to be female friendships, and how can it help in regards to having like a healthy mental state?
I mean, I feel like there's so it's such a big,
I know, it's
big
huge
thing.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, where my brain went first was like in this you know, boo male centric world that we live in, disgusting. I think it's important to like to connect in this way, because also I think like because we live in this like, you know, misogynistic world, we there are so many forces at work trying, like it's kind of like every effort to like, you know, create tension within marginalized communities so that they never like topple the people in power. Like I feel like the kind of like antithesis to, you know, how do we go against like our society that is very male centric is like these strong female connections. So that's kind of where my brain went in that moment of like it went much bigger picture than I thought it would. I think on like I think it's important because like, you know, there are these ideas of like mean girls or like girls who I use girls, but like I also feel like even that language is already we're already like cutting down women. You know, when we talk about like women supporting women or women not supporting women, it's like where are these pressures coming from? Like where are these like you know, if we could if we are able to just like foster these close connections, what things can come out of that as opposed to like influences that maybe we've internalized that might be impacting how we're connecting with other women. Me speaking as a woman, a woman. But I think also just like from a psychological perspective, like at a baseline, social support is so important in managing our mental health. I think that there's something about like, you know, when you are connecting with other people and you share aspects of your identity, that there's this like, oh, you understand me. And so I think with like within female friendships, that's a part of it where it's like, this is just a different dynamic versus like a female male friendship or a male to male friendship potentially, where there's just this degree of understanding of like, yeah, you know what it's like, you know, the things that we have to think about and like the, you know, a lot of the different like all the issues that we have
All
to
the
deal with,
issues.
not only
Yes.
societally, but also like, you know, physically, because science has not like, you know, cared that much about our well-being in the
How
same way
our
they care about
bodies
men's.
work.
Yep. Anyway, I keep going too big picture, but like,
No,
yes, I
never.
think that there's something incredibly valuable about about that like shared experience, especially like going through all the different life stages where when we're younger in like adolescence, things are like really complicated and confusing. And I think again, like that's part of where there might be some like internalized, you know, like societal expectations of like there can only be one, like we can't all like be successful and like support
That's
each
what I was
other.
gonna bring up. Yeah
And like again, like that's not the case. We can all like support one another, and like it doesn't mean that, you know, I mean, again, it's like I'm trying to put myself in the position of being like a middle school girl.
Yes.
And I detest that time. I was not a cool girl. I was more of like a wallflower, maybe. Like I wasn't particularly noticed, and that honestly, like that was probably fine. And yeah, but like people are really mean and cruel, and I feel like it's only gotten worse for a lot of reasons, in terms of like social media and like technology, and how like bullying has, you know, become more pervasive because of that. But yeah, I feel like this was my very long-winded answer.
No, I love it.
No,
I have
think it
to
was
say,
good.
I feel like Jamie, we would have been best friends in middle school because
Is it because we're both cancers?
I literally was gonna say, and because we're both cancers, like just no attention. But you're right. Thinking back, like in middle school, and just the things that are deposited into your brain at a young age, even just thinking in relation to male attention, right? And the competition of like who's being noticed and who's not in that respect, and then that only just heightens in your brain of like, oh, people want this type of woman or this type of person, and then trying to be that, and then already feeling like, oh, there can only be one, instead of we can all be working together towards the same thing, and be accepting of all of our individual characteristics, physical traits, all the things. But it is definitely hard, and I can't imagine being a middle schooler now with how fast things move and trends and keeping up with all the things.
Oh, but there was something that you just said that like triggered a memory for me about like things that we've internalized when we're young. And one of them is, I very specifically remember, my mom doesn't listen to this podcast. I think she forgets that I do it. But I very specifically remember I was like in 6th grade, so I had to be like 11. And I had a crush on a neighbor. And I remember like I wanted to either hang out with him or like call him to hang out or something. And my mom goes like, don't chase boys. Like they don't like that. And then they won't want you. Again, I'm 11. So
wow.
Let that sink in, folks. And that's why I'm fucked up. No, just kidding.
No. That's
Nobody
my
tell my mom
origin story.
She'll be so mad. I can't handle that right now, you guys.
Too much.
But no, it's like it's like
real.
thinking about something like that. It's like, why the fuck are we telling 11-year-old girls shit like that? Like that's absurd. And
or if they're mean to you, that means they like you.
Ugh,
what the fuck
gross.
is that?
Yeah.
Gross.
Hate it.
I
hated that.
hate it. I'm really excited to teach Elliot how to like be super respectful and like you know,
that's beautiful.
if somebody turns you down, you say like, thank you, I respect it. Walk away. And like that's okay, you know.
Don't throw your fork at them.
Yeah. And don't bite them. Also, like don't throw like a truck at their head.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, thank you for that. That's just because I feel like in this movie, like circling back to the dynamic between the women, you can tell where like some of the intentions go sour because, you know, it's like with even the talking to men things, or even how controlling Apple is of Cherry's like schedule for her mental health, and it's like just dealing with issues that Apple has that she's now like putting on everyone else and disguising it as I'm being a helpful girl woman,
Right.
you know, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, something that we haven't talked about at all is the silly, crazy one-liners in this movie. Like,
oh yes,
like the one-off line, and not like necessarily funny, and they're not like jokes. They're just like how these women are talking to each other.
Yes. Do you have a quote? Because I have one that is,
no, go for it.
Okay. When they're picking out charm, when Apple is picking out a charm for Pumpkin, it's so wild how they say this, but what is it? Apple says, when back when I was a sales girl, not yet a saleswoman. And it just like made me laugh because what is this Britney Spears line that's happening here? But it comes out, like you say, Brian, so natural because this is just how they're talking to each other. And then all the lines about Apple trying to tell Cherry not to stop being the main character in other people's stories. It's like all this kind of internet jargon, but that's just how they converse with each other.
And I think it does something else where like they come off as fake in some ways because of the jargon that they're using. And I think that adds to what how they're trying to tell this story.
Yeah.
All right. So going back to the plot for just a little bit, all of the women start to grow really paranoid and accusatory towards each other. They're wondering who in the group is the snake in the grass. So Apple calls an emergency meeting in paradise to kind of like figure this all out. And it just so happens that a tornado warning is issued for the area.
Because of course, it's Texas.
Because it's Texas. So the first thing that happens is Fig quits the coven. She's very upset about Pickle's suicide. And then she reveals her big secret that her name is actually Emily, which was fucking hilarious.
Yes.
It feels like the opposite of Recess when we learn Spinelli is actually an Ashley.
Oh my right. God. Oh my God. I forgot about that. That was iconic.
So good.
God, yeah.
And then Norman, her boyfriend, comes to kind of save him. And then just save her, excuse me. And then just things get like very quickly agitated when she says that she's leaving, that she's going to get a degree, that she's going to be with Norman, and Cherry trips, is holding a meat cleaver and hits him in the face with a meat cleaver. So then he and Fig just like get the fuck out of there. And then the mall is placed in a lockdown officially. So Cherry, Apple, and Pumpkin. Whenever I think of those, I think of like the McDonald's like pastry cakes.
Ooh, apple pies, yeah.
Yeah, so Apple, Pumpkin, and Cherry are delicious and trapped inside. So then Cherry is pissed and kind of like in shock about what she did, whether it was an accident or not. Cherry confronts Apple about her being super fucking cruel and controlling. And then Apple kisses her because like that's Apple's way of gaining control back over the situation. But she's rebuffed. She's like by Cherry, who's trying to like stand her ground. And then Fig comes back into the mall. Oh, and I should mention that Fig and Apple, and Cherry like are really like genuinely yelling at each other and calling each other names and commenting on all of their shit to each other. And Cherry's like really trying to establish herself as an individual in that sequence. Fig puts Norman into an ambulance and goes back into the mall because Norman dumps her as well with the fucking cleaver in his face.
Oh my God.
And then I think Apple, Cherry is trying to get away from Apple,
Yes.
but she gets trapped in the escalator, and she is torn to pieces by the escalator.
Oof.
And then
an actual like fear, semi-irrational fear.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
it's irrational, but it fucking like that idea is like an intrusive thought that I have probably every single time I get in an escalator.
And isn't that one of the final destination?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then spoiler, it's a fucking doesn't even. You're stupid.
yeah, it's a dream sequence in Final Destination 4.
Yeah. Crazy. But I get the fear.
Yeah. Oh no, I think about it every time on an escalator. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
I'm like, so.
Oh, and it has probably one of Jamie's favorite scenes when she's ripping her nail off to try to untie her shoe.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. Anytime there's something like a nail or like a mouth thing, I'm like, Jamie is like shuddering right now.
And then during the but also we have to mention that Fig and Pumpkin are trying to help Cherry, and Apple fucking refuses to help. And that's part of the reason why Cherry isn't saved in time. And then a glass skylight shatters because of the tornado and fucking bisects Fig, which is like crazy.
Crazy.
I should also mention that this is the moment just before all the deaths start to happen. This is when our dog Ted had to go to the bathroom. So I missed all the deaths the second time.
No.
I was so mad.
The best part.
But also, like, I knew it was coming next. But I also didn't want, I didn't want my reaction to, like, for Jamie to, like, be like, oh, but we were towards the end of the movie, so she knew there was a climax coming. But, still, fuck that noise. Sorry, Ted. That was really rude. So then Apple and Pumpkin go into the fountain to wash the blood off of them. And then Pumpkin reveals, bum, 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 that she is Apple's paternal half-sister. She tracked Apple down to seek justice for their father's murder. They fight over their conflicting views of the father because the father left Apple and her mom and started a new family with Pumpkin's mother. And then, who he was like a good father to. So, two female differing opinions on the same male person, father figure. And then Apple strangles Pumpkin to death and leaves
Wasn't
her
expecting that.
in the fountain. No, not at all. That was very shocking and surprising.
Yes.
And Apple gets the fuck out of there. She ends up in Scottsdale, Arizona, and she meets 3 girls who work at that Free People. Excuse me, I mean Free Eden. And they're the ones that have flowers as their names. And they offer her a job because there's going to be a Free Eden opening there soon. Then there's a mid-credit sequence, because why the fuck not, where we learn that Sharon, played by Gabrielle Union, their boss, who we never see during the movie, is an undercover police detective who has been investigating Apple. She notices the doll, the Barbie kind of Marilyn Monroe doll, and it's still recording at the crime scene. And Apple, Apple basically admitted to having done everything, and it's showing her killing Pumpkin, and they collect it to use as evidence. End of movie.
Yay. Which also, yes, you talking out the plot, it's so all over the place. Like, what is actually happening? But I do find, the idea of the female friendship groups and like navigating that to be an interesting enough premise.
Sure. I know.
Yeah.
Despite all the things that I'm saying about it, I really like this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. Even if it changes, like I don't know, the way that these women die is just like, what the fuck? Like, this was not the movie we were watching before. yeah, and just like the whole father thing, and then the subtext about like original sin, and then the female groups, and like what are you trying to say about female groups, especially if Pumpkin dies, like. And then all of a sudden you're introducing like this like undercover detective thing. Are we thinking this is going to get a sequel? Like, is that just to show that like Apple's not going to get away with it? You know, like there's just a lot happening that makes it much harder to really feel satisfied thematically by the movie, even though I'm satisfied by the movie from a just like I had a good time perspective. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, just because you mentioned it, Brian, like I did want to ask and bring up, what do you think this movie is trying to say that it didn't, or is there something that you're like, oh yes, I'm taking away this from this movie in regards to maybe female rage, in regards to relationship with the patriarchy and female relationships? Like, what do you think? Anyone?
What do I think?
Or is it just like missing the mark on it?
I think it misses the mark.
I guess I have like mixed feelings on that, because I think that, you know, even maybe this is like a skewed perspective, I don't know, but like even in, you know, positive like female friendships, there can still be points of contention, right? Like
Absolutely.
It's not like nothing is like perfect. And so, I mean, obviously like people probably aren't dying.
Right. Not murdering each other, hopefully.
But yeah, I don't know if it's trying to say something about like, about like, you know, that they're, maybe that there can't be like one principal like person in charge, like, because that's not necessarily like a friend group. That's like you know,
being in a cult, like there's a leader and there's followers in a sense, as opposed to like reciprocal relationships where there's individuality. Because even though these girls are like have their individual personalities, they still don't have autonomy, right, over their lives and their what they want to be doing, but in the service of what, like just to say they are a part of a female group. You know,
well,
like,
yeah, because the thing I was really thinking about was like kind of Apple being alone and like not having anyone really, but like also needing them, right? Like,
yes,
it's not just that she is totally fine like surviving independently, but like she needs people, but she's also, it isn't this like we're on the same level, like there's this power imbalance, and like there's a point where like people don't want that. They want like to be on the same level playing field. And so I wonder if like that's part of it, like Pumpkin connecting with the other two is like a, well, then there's some like minor blackmail stuff that's happening, but like
yes,
I think that there is, and obviously she has like an underlying intention of trying to figure out what happened, but like I think that from the other two's perspective, it's like, oh, this is the kind of like friendship that I want to have, you know. It's like, oh, I actually like, you know, feel like this person is trying to get to know me and not just like another person kind of going along with everything.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go first.
Well, because I was going to ask another question, so go ahead.
I mean, I think this movie is trying to, this is what I think the movie is trying to say. I think it's trying to talk about like sisterhood, obviously, being a part of a group, but like at the like cost of like conformity, like losing your individual self to the group. Even though these four characters are very distinctly drawn as four very distinct individuals, I think it also is trying to talk about like the two sides of female empowerment and female power. This idea that like they're trying to reclaim like by cursing people that have wronged them. But on the flip side of things, like they're being very ownershipist, or at least Apple is being very manipulative to all of them. Then you have like, I guess like female rage specifically against like men when it comes to the boyfriends. There's obviously a lot of rules around the boyfriends and not having the boyfriends and the sexual encounters, but also the father, how one of them sees the father as like a good father and the other one sees it as kind of like left him type of thing. And I think where this movie kind of fails for me thematically is that it's very clearly using the Garden of Eden as an allegory. This movie is an allegory for the Garden of Eden.
What?
And I know. Yeah, the thing is, like, it's not even subtext. Like, it's clear, you know, like it's in the text. I just don't think it lays on top of it nice enough. Yeah, and I think that the movie thinks it is. I think the movie thinks it's being thematically smarter and more streamlined than it actually is, in general.
Yeah, I can see that. Just like there's like you said, the through line with Garden of Eden specifically, because there's so much other stuff that's added in to where it gets murky with that one very solid theme that it could be, but it's not because there's other stuff happening underneath it. Great. That also, I wanted to ask because Jamie was just talking about how Apple was controlling and manipulating the girls to keep to get them to stay. So I wanted to ask, instead of feeling like that is the only tactic in order to get someone to stay in any kind of relationship, well, what do you think Apple really needed in order to not feel lonely and abandoned? Because we see, you know, all the phone calls to her mom, and her mom hasn't responded or picked up the phone. Like, she really is kind of by herself and needing these girls and doing whatever she can to keep them around. What do you think would have been a better choice?
I mean, you know, it's clear that she also has trauma, right? Like from her family being broken up. You know, she could probably use with some therapy to kind of talk that out.
Of course, yeah.
Like a little
therapy. Ever
chatting.
heard of it?
Right. And she tells Cherry to get therapy.
I know, to
like,
go.
What are you doing?
But like, that's also like, you know, that happens all the time. Like, people who are like, oh yeah, you should like do this thing, and then like them not doing it themselves. How many therapists do I know that like tell people all these things all the time, and then they're like, I'm super fucked up. So, you know, like, that's common. But yeah, like, I think also, let's say that this is me making an assumption, but like, let's say that there's some like, you know, ego, like narcissistic characteristics or traits that she's embodying. Like, a lot of that at the core of like narcissism is like a deep seated insecurity. And so like all of that is then being masked by this like, I'm, you know, like I hold all the power kind of thing. So again, maybe it was like a lot of just projecting power instead of actually like, you know, meeting her friends where they were in order to like have a positive relationship with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh gosh, what you just said reminded me of something, and it left my brain. It'll come back to me. But also another segue.
Rude.
I know. Here it came back. Great. Just because you said it was rude, it came back to me. Because you were talking about, you know, therapists or anyone telling you to do things, but then they don't do things. But I want to kind of talk about that, because why do you think that is? I feel like that's a better question of why do you...
I should ask my therapist that.
Yeah. Like, it could be so easy to be, because I think about that in not just like mental health aspect, but even if I'm teaching voice, right? And I'm telling all of my students all these things, and like, are those things that I do? Like, do I warm up? No, I just go in and like sing, and then
let's do it.
What's going to happen is going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just fascinating to me, the mental idea of like, you know, you have all of the tools to do the things that you need to do, or maybe not all of them, but you have some of them, but you still choose to actively like not do those things.
I think it's also just like the difference between how we view ourselves and like our self-worth and our self-image in comparison to other people. And like, you know, a lot of the time we hold a lot more grace for other people than we do for ourselves,
which is crazy.
Yeah. And so like, yeah, I think there's a lot of times where we like, you know, want to support other people and like offer suggestions, but in terms of like us actually internalizing them, I think it maybe feels less accessible to us because we hold ourselves with less regard. It's like as an outsider to somebody else, like we're like, yeah, like I'm going to support you. These are these are the ways that I'm going to support you. But then there's like maybe more rejection to receiving that support from others, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Totally get that. And it's just in the way that you see others as opposed to how you see yourself. I get that. Last thing, and it's because you brought up narcissism. I would love to Billy or Stu Apple if you can.
Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. Yeah, pizza scream, baby.
Billy or Stu?
Yes. What is going on? I think that it's more of a Stu situation. Because while yes, I do think that like, you know, she runs a tight ship, that one, right?
Yeah.
That being said, I feel like she reacts very impulsively and like on the fly in a way that like I think that she's trying to portray that she has things under control, but I don't think she does. And so like I think her in the moment is like a lot more disorganized. Again, I you know, I could be wrong.
No, I mean, but that makes sense. Just in how she, even though she is controlling them, it still feels like within a sense of chaos that she's kind of going like flying.
It also feels like it feels very delicate. Like it feels like at any moment this could all fall apart, which like it does.
And it does.
So,
yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I'll take that. Her and Stu could be best friends. That's a movie I would see. Besties. Great. Awesome. Well, should we Rotten Tomato this? Or do you have any other lasting thoughts?
Girl power.
Girl power.
Girl power. Isn't that a Cheetah Girls song? Girl power?
I don't know the Cheetah Girls.
Jamie, please.
I know. Well, was that Nickelodeon or was that Disney?
Disney. I mean, and I wasn't a Disney kid either, but
I didn't have Disney because you had to pay extra for it.
Right. And my parents said absolutely not. But when I went to my grandparents' house, they had Disney. And so I'd watch the Cheetah Girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
With
I would go to my friend's house to watch oh my God. What's Lizzie McGuire?
Lizzie,
which they do make a reference in this movie of Lizzie McGuire, which is fucking hilarious. And Hilary Duff, because I do Free Eden is doing a collab with Hilary Duff. But they also bring up Lizzie McGuire. So good. I mean, this is definitely so millennial coded in the best way, but just using like Gen Z people.
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like Diablo Cody wrote it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She produced it.
Yes. Right.
But it's very much in her wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game.
Yeah.
What do you think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? Nikisha, you go first.
I feel like people are mixed about it. I want to say 65.
All right, Jamie?
67.
75.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And the popcorn meter is 73%, so pretty equal. Nice. Charmingly goofy and packed with incisive insights into relatable ups and downs of any friend group, Forbidden Fruits is campy coven worth hanging out with for its concise runtime.
Did you say incisiveness insights?
Incisive insights.
That feels AI. Sorry, I just like hearing that.
I think
totally.
I think it is AI. I think
All
it like
now? Yeah.
aggregates. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that. All right. Okay, what do you think this has on? Oh my god, I just knocked my earbud out. I'm being crazy.
No.
What do you think this has on Letterboxd? As a reminder, it's a decimal point, so anywhere between 0.0 and 5.0. Jamie, you go first this time.
3, 2.
Dang, that's what I
Nikisha?
was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Cancer season's coming up. We're melting brains. I'll do 3-3.
3.0 on the dot.
Oh wow, interesting. All right.
And these are the These are the three most popular reviews. At number 3, Dark Betty doesn't die; she reinvents herself.
What?
That's she plays Betty on Riverdale. Lily.
Okay,
Reinhardt.
I was gonna say this. That has to be a reference to her show that I have not watched.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry guys.
All right. Number 2, Victoria Pedretti looks like she's auditioning for Oklahoma.
Ha! That's a great one. Yes.
That one I get.
That one I understand.
And then the most popular review on this website here is, on Wednesdays we don't have sex.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, these outfits, I was a fan of the costuming in this movie.
The production value of this movie, from the mall and the outfits and everything, is spectacular.
It makes me nostalgic about going and hanging out at the mall when I was
young.
And wanting to work there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's something that I definitely miss for sure. I feel that way. There's a lot of movies I've watched recently that have had that, and I'm just like, oh, remember malls? Remember the fun we used to have?
It just walking around.
We go to the King of Prussia Mall sometimes.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a good mall.
Yeah.
I really want to go to the American Dream Mall, like very badly.
There's just so many people now. It feels so overcrowded.
That's
and then
bummer.
I get anxious. And maybe just in my older age, my anxiety has increased. In my old age. My decrepit
no,
age.
I agree.
Yeah. Because I'm like, too many people. Please get me out of here. But it's a great mall.
Yeah, it makes me nervous. Also, there's they have the Animal Crossing thing right now at the aquarium.
Oh,
there's like a special collab. Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Shall we do the 4 S's?
Yes.
Skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. The Talking Horrors 4 S's.
The 4 S's are skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. Skulls is how well this movie handles human behavior and mental health, 1 through 10. Scares is how scary was it. Shakes, can you shake it off, or is it just one and done, or is it you gotta watch it a million more times? No one's suggestions after. Jamie, why don't you go first?
I gave it a 6 for skulls, a 0 for scares. Actually, I'll bump scares up to a 1 because of that fucking escalator scene.
Sure.
And for shakes, I gave it a 5, like right in the middle.
All right.
Yeah, mine is close. I did 6 for skulls. I made scares a 2 just because of all the blood and the kills were good. But it wasn't scary, but the kills were good. And then shakes, I'll give it a 6 for nostalgia bait. And that soundtrack, fire. Give it to me now.
Fire. Give it to me now. I'm giving this a 6 as well. 666 down the line for us.
Well, that was her license plate. We didn't mention that. It was 6, which was cute.
I gave it a 0 for scares. And I gave it a 6.5 for shakes.
How did the audience react to like some of those kills?
They loved it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because all of a sudden this turned into like some kind of like Final Destination movie, and people really ate it up.
Yeah.
That's
great.
All right. What are some suggestions? Jamie, why don't you start?
Sure. You said all of mine. I had The Craft and Jennifer's Body.
I'll add to that Heather's, which you also said, but also the movie Influencer and Influencers, the sequel.
Sure.
I have to watch those. You both talk about them all the time.
It's so good.
They're good.
Whodunit, whatever.
I'll go Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah. Great.
Cool.
Well, that wraps up our episode of Forbidden Fruits. You can follow us on the socials. Yes, eat your fruits, peoples. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok at Talk Horror Pod. Please help us get to 20K on the TikToks. And Producer Brian, where can they listen to us?
You can listen to us wherever you get podcasts. So that is things like YouTube. Hi, YouTube. That's like Spotify. Thank you for listening, Spotify. And Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us there. 5 stars, please.
And thank you. Hey, how you doing, little mama? Let me whisper in here.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.